Hey y'all, we're the Learning Estheticians and class is in session.
Let's talk about it. Gaps in your schedule, clients who don't rebook, tight margins, and high processing fees.
Sound familiar?
Because when you're running your own aesthetics business, you don't have time to sit around trying to figure out where you could be making more money.
That's why we love Gloss Genius, the system that helps you bring in more revenue and get more time back.
It fills your calendar, helps rebook clients, and upsells your high margin services automatically.
Plus, their point of sale helps you earn more while saving money on fees.
And they've got all your HIPAA compliant tools you need for charting, consents, and client records without all the admin chaos.
So if you're ready for more revenue and more time for everything else,
see it for yourself. Use code LEARNING at glossgenius.com for 50% off your first 2 months of their gold or platinum plan.
Class is dismissed.
Hey dolls, what's up? Welcome back to the Learning Estheticians podcast, where science meets soul care, community, collaboration, and lifelong learning. I'm your Esty sis, Naomi Alexis, Rated Lex, Big Mama, the skin chick, just Lex, or that girl over there, however you may know me. I'm a licensed esthetician, acne and hyperpigmentation specialist, future nurse esthetician, peer educator, and forever student. If skincare is your love language, you found your people. Whether you're on your way to beauty school, behind the treatment bed, studying for state boards, or simply passionate about the science of skincare, you're always welcome here. So step into our cathedral of learning, grab your notebook, and let's get ready to get our learn on.
Gotta find beauty in the flow. The more you know, the more you glow. Take it everywhere you go. Everywhere you go. Feeling powered, intentional, doing so care. Elevate, share, get it all right here. Good vibes, good time. You know that we're all right. Everybody get your learn on. Everybody get your grow on, go on. Everybody get your shine on. Right here's where it's at all the time. Oh, everybody get your learn on. Everybody.
Hey y'all, how you doing? How are you feeling? How is life? I'm here to tell you today I'm in like a really good mood. Number one, I made it to the gym, all of my sessions this week and last week. Okay. Clap it up for me because I didn't skip, I didn't miss, I didn't have anything interrupt. I've made it to the gym with my trainer every day I'm supposed to. My next goal is to make it to the gym all the days I'm supposed to without her. So how are you guys doing? Let's check in and see how we're feeling. Are you feeling empowered, liberated? Are you feeling like her? Are you feeling like Big Mama, Big Daddy? But I just hope that whenever you are listening to this, it finds you in your highest self. So I have a few things I want to talk about. And before we jump into explicit content today, I just want to talk a little industry tea, okay? A little industry news that caught my attention. European Wax Center is no longer a publicly traded company. Earlier this year, General Atlantic, a global investment firm that was already a major shareholder, completed its acquisition of the company in an all-cash deal, taking European Wax Center private. Okay, it went from public, where you, me, her, can get a little something, to now it's private. Now, why should we care as estheticians? Because moves like this can shape the future of our industry. Whenever private equity gets involved, the hope is often that the company can focus more on long-term growth instead of answering to the shareholders every quarter. We'll have to watch to see what the tea is going to be. I think this can also be a reminder that aesthetics isn't just about the ingredients. It's not about what we just do in the treatment room. There is a business side to aesthetics that we have to keep in mind, especially if you want to grow and scale. If that is your path, then we need to pay attention to what's going on in European Wax Center, because maybe one day our business will be on a level where we're going to go from private to public. I mean, do y'all remember Empire? When Empire went public, okay? Terrence Howard wasn't having none of it. So here's my question for you. If you're a CEO of European Wax Center for a day, what would you change? I'd love to hear all your thoughts all your tea. Started at European Wax Center because they had the best training. And I knew if I would start there as well, hand and stone, I'd have a good anchor. I have my stories with European Wax Center, but I do believe that without them, I would not be the esthetician I am today. So I'm eager to hear all about how y'all feel about this. And I actually am going to insert the video from our girl ICEY Aesthetics, actually here in Pittsburgh. Okay, girl. Hey. Her video popped up and made me informed of this. I seen it in my news because I get certain notifications from Google. We'll go into that in a different episode. But then I saw it hit my timeline, and she was the one that really summed it up that made me dive a little bit deeper. I just want to see if y'all knew what was going on with them and how y'all feel. But you know what time it is. It's time to get into the soul care of it all. And it's time to go into Lex explicit content where the conversation is always rated Lex, and it's meant to make your soul glow.
Hi, my name is Isis, and I'm going to give you the 411 on what is happening in the beauty industry currently. My degree is in business administration with a concentration in entrepreneurship and innovation, and I own a privately owned aesthetic salon in downtown Pittsburgh where we offer full body waxing, lash extensions, and semi-permanent services such as lash lifts and brow laminations. So I have my notes here, so don't mind me. But basically, European Wax Center just got bought by a giant investment company called General Atlantic. And it's a really big deal in the beauty industry right now because think about it like this. European Wax Center was a publicly traded company, meaning that me, you, your mom, your auntie can buy stocks in this company, but they will also have to report on the business revenue that they were making each year, each quarter, and so forth, so on. But General Atlantic was like, nope, I want to buy it all. And so they paid $640 million to fully own all of the stock in the company and also fully own the company, taking it off the stock market. Meaning that me, you, your auntie, your grandma can no longer buy public stock in European Wax Center. Now, it's no secret that European Wax Center has been struggling over the past few years to retain their clients, keep their business going. I know one in Pittsburgh in Squirrel Hill recently closed down. That is the nearest one to the most people on the east side, if you're not talking about Monroeville or Murraysville. And so now the only other location is their Shady Side location. My theory, allegedly, is that the company was struggling to grow the way that their investors wanted them to. Their profits were slowing down and their locations were closing. And if you pay attention, European Wax Center closed 31 locations in their fiscal 2025 year, but they also opened up 11. So around a net of 20 locations officially closed. This is a really interesting report because it just shows that beauty businesses are evolving and changing, but not only that, consumer spending is changing. At one point, full body waxing, aesthetics, all the things, lash extensions, like I said, waxing, all those things were blowing up. And I mean, I'm talking about from like 2018 to roughly right after the pandemic. And then we saw a decline slightly after the pandemic when people started to understand, well, wait, hold on, how much money am I spending in these, what we would say luxury services? And what could I save money on? Or what are they providing me that makes me want to spend money with them? And so I think this is a really good take if you are a solopreneur, if you own a privately owned salon, and or if you are a franchise salon and you are on the smaller side, to make sure that you are paying attention to your customer intake, customer input, customer reports, anything that deals with your customer. You need to essentially be your customer in order to make sure that your customer stays with you, spends money with you, because it is very easy to lose them. So I'm interested to see how this plays out in the beauty space, but also make sure that you are taking care of your customers, the ones who spend money with you, who love you. And if you are looking for a new full body waxing spot, come check us out at ICEY Aesthetics located in downtown Pittsburgh.
Just let it shine through, yeah. Just let your soul go.
Today's Lex explicit content is a question. The question is simply, What are your affirmations? Now, before you answer, I don't mean the cute, quotes that we cut out of a magazine on our phones as our screensaver or Pinterest. No, I mean, what are you consistently speaking over your life? What's your self-talk? Because if you realize it or not, you're affirming something every single day. And maybe it's like, I don't know, I'm always late. I'm so awkward. I'm so weird. I never finish anything. I'm always broke. I'm this. I'm that. I'm too emotional. I'm not enough. I'm not worthy. The crazy part is we don't usually think of these as affirmations, but they are. They're just affirmations we never intentionally chose. Words have power, not because they're magical, but because what we repeatedly tell ourselves, our self-talk, what we continue to speak and echo in our mind often shapes what we believe in ourselves. And what we believe influences how we show up. It'll make you second guess yourself. It'll make you have steps sometimes. Affirmations, aspirations, and declarations. They're all related, but they are not the same. Affirmations reinforce your identity, reinforce your self-talk, reinforces the echo. They answer the question, who am I? Am I capable? Am I worthy? Am I resilient? Am I creative? Am I becoming more disciplined every day? Affirmations remind you of who you are and who you're intentionally and sometimes unintentionally. Because you don't realize that the things that you keep saying to yourself, the things that you actually believe in your heart of hearts, is what's guiding your everyday decisions and choices. Aspirations, on the other hand, answer a different question. Where am I growing? I want to become a better communicator. I want to trust myself more. I want to become more financially free. I want to be an influencer. I want to be a 6-figure spa chick. I'm working consistently towards my goals. Those are sometimes like easier to do because wishful thinking is easy. With declaration, and this is the one that really gets you, declarations aren't wishes. They're decisions. They are you standing 10 toes down, speaking over your life. They don't wait until you feel easy. They don't want to wait until confidence just magically appears. Declaration is, I refuse to abandon myself. I choose peace. I will finish what I start. My healing is no longer optional. I trust the process even when I can't see the outcome. Declarations shift from hoping to deciding to unabundant faith. And sometimes that's exactly what we need because confidence doesn't always come first. Sometimes obedience comes first. Sometimes consistency comes first. Sometimes you make the decision and your confidence in the evolution of your life catches up later. And so for your Soul Glow workshop here today, let me bring it all in and stop preaching. Here's what I want you to do. Grab a piece of paper, your journal, your notebook, whatever it may be, and write 3 affirmations, 3 aspirations, and 1 declaration. And your declaration is more like you giving your Martin Luther King, I have a dream speech, okay? It is your standing up. This is the moment. I declare that I am the head and not the tail. I declare that I will be abundant. I declare that love will find me in its healthiest way. I declare that my business will be on and popping, and not just a way that it looks like it. It'll be supported financially. I'm going to be wealthy. I declare that I make the decision to change my life every day. I declare that I choose to make myself that 1% better every day. And then ask yourself this question, which one was the hardest to write? Was it difficult to believe something good about yourself? Was it hard to admit that what you're really hoping for? Because sometimes I had to, when I was writing down what I actually wanted, I felt embarrassed. Like, how dare I say this is what I want? No. If this is what you want, it's what you want. If it doesn't cause no hurt or harm to anybody, hard to admit what you were really hoping for. Or was it scary to make a declaration because sometimes you don't own up to what you say? You said you wasn't going to text him back, but here you go. Text him right back when he say what you doing. Now all of a sudden you doing nothing. Girl, you're doing a lot. Don't judge your answer though. Just notice it. Be aware of it. And let the growth begin. It's time to head into the lessons lounge. We're separating science from social media, fact from cap, and taking a deep dive into one of the most misunderstood ingredients in skincare, Dimethicone.
Come on, ride on the magic school bus.
Welcome back to our A to Z ingredient series, where we're breaking down skincare ingredients one letter at a time so that by the end of this series, ingredients list won't feel intimidating. Today's ingredient is D is for dimethicone. Now, before we learn what dimethicone is, I want to ask you a question. Have you ever put on a moisturizer that felt amazing, like it glided across your skin? It felt like velvet, felt like satiny silk. Your skin felt soft, smooth, and hydrated. Then an hour later, your skin feels tight again. Or maybe you've had a client that says, I don't understand. I moisturize every morning, but my skin still feels dry. Have you ever wondered where did the moisture go? Did the moisture just disappear? Did the skin soak it all up? Or is something else happening? See, that's the question we're actually answering today. Because before we can understand dimethicone, we have to first understand the problem cosmetic chemists were trying to solve. That's one of the biggest mind shifts changes I want us to have as learning estheticians. Ingredients aren't randomly thrown into a bottle, at least they should not be. Cosmetic chemists are problem solvers. Every ingredient is chosen for a reason. Every ingredient serves a purpose, and every ingredient has a job. And today we're going to discover what the job of dimethicone was designed to do. Class is officially in session, and let's meet today's ingredient. I feel like I should be like, come on down. Dimethicone belongs to a family of ingredients called silicones. Think about your own family for a second. You might have a cousin who's funny, another who's athletic, someone who's the artsy cousin, someone who's the quiet one, someone who, is the regulator, the one that everyone goes to, but they each have different personalities and different strengths. Silicone works the same way. There isn't just one silicone. There are many different silicone ingredients, and each one has a different purpose. Today's family member is dimethicone, and whether you realize it or not, you probably used it. It's commonly found in moisturizers, primers, sunscreens, foundations, concealers, scar gels, barrier creams, hair conditioners, heat protectants, and actually, here's your first challenge. I'm going to give it to you early. When class is over, I want you to go into your bathroom and care products. Read the ingredient list. I have a feeling you're going to spot, unless you've already been intentional about not using dimethicone, at least once you'll spot that ingredient in some of your products. So let's get into it. Let's put in our detective's hat. One thing I absolutely love about doing this is breaking down the ingredient names, because here's the secret. Chemists aren't trying to confuse us. They're actually leaving us clues in the name. Today's ingredient has a pretty intimidating name, polydimethylsiloxane. 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 Take a deep breath. You're not expected to memorize that. It took me a long time to get that together, and I had to say it real slow for me to even get it out. But let's break down the word. The first part of the word is poly. And whenever you hear that prefix poly, think many. You can also think that Polyligament show on Netflix, honey, that got a little spicy. I never watched a dub series so closely. But back to what we're talking about. Poly is going to mean many. It tells us something repeats over and over again. So that's the first half of it. The di part in the word means two. Easy enough. The methyl part of the word is a group. A methyl group is a very small chemical group made of one carbon atom and 3 hydrogen atoms. You don't need to memorize this chemistry, just listen to it. Remember this. Those tiny methyl groups help influence how dimethicone behaves. The next part of the word, siloxane, tells us that the main structure of the molecule is made out of repeating silicone and oxygen atoms. So when we put it all together, we have polydimethylsiloxane. It's simply describing a large silicone molecule that's built from repeating units. So let's go back to the question we started class with. You applied your moisturizer, your skin felt amazing, soft, supple, comfortable, hydrated, then moments later, it feels dry again. So where did the moisture go? Did the skin absorb it all? Did your moisturizer stop working? Did you buy the wrong product? And that's not necessarily it. Those can be reasons, but that's not always the reason. Believe it or not, your skin is constantly losing small amounts of water throughout the day. Every single day, every single person. Scientists have a name for this process, and we've all heard it. Say it with me now. Transepidermal water loss. Say it with me. We all know what it's called. tool. Tool. Like I want to say tool. So you get it, you understand. It's not tool. It's a tool, but it's tool. TEWL for short. And let's break it down. The first half of the word is trans, meaning across. The second half of the word is epidermal, refers to the epidermis, the outermost layer of your skin. And water loss means exactly what it sounds like. Water moving from inside your skin to the outside. So the tool simply means water naturally leaving the skin through the epidermis. Now here's something that surprises a lot of people. Tool is normal. I want to say it again because it's important for my people in the back. Tool is normal. It's not a skin condition. It's not something that's automatically wrong. Healthy skin loses water every day. The goal isn't to stop the water loss. The goal is to prevent too much water from escaping. Think about a water bottle. If you leave the cap completely off, the water evaporates much faster. But put the cap back on and the water stays where it's supposed to. Your skin is trying to do something very similar. How does your skin keep the water from escaping too quickly? Your skin has its own built-in protection system called the skin barrier. And you've heard it before. We talked about it here, and we're going to keep talking about it. Imagine a brick wall. The skin cells are bricks, and between those bricks is a mixture of lipids, ceramides, cholesterol, and free fatty acids. Think of these lipids as the mortar that holds the bricks together. When the wall is strong, it keeps what belongs inside, and it keeps outside irritants from getting in. But what happens if the mortar starts breaking down? Now that's where we get tiny gaps. Water can escape more quickly. Irritants can get in more easily. That's why someone with a damaged skin barrier may describe their skin as tight. Moisturizers burn. The skin is dry no matter what they use. As estheticians, those aren't complaints. Those are clues. Those should get our spidey senses going. Those clues tell us that the barrier may need support. So where does dimethicone come in and fit into all of this? And what's funny is I kept calling like dimethicone. I felt like DEFCON 3 or 5 or whatever. Dimethy. It works by forming a very thin layer, a very thin and flexible layer at that, on the surface layer of the skin. Think of it as a lightweight windbreaker. A windbreaker doesn't create body heat and helps hold on to the heat your body already has. Dimethicone works similar in that way. It doesn't add water to the skin. Instead, it helps the skin hold on to the moisture that's already there by reducing excessive transepidermal water loss. That's why you'll often hear dimethicone described as a film former or a skin protectant. Those are simply scientific ways of describing one of its jobs. It forms a protective film that helps support the skin barrier. Dimethicone is a polymer. A polymer is simply a very large molecule made by linking many smaller repeating units together. Think of a paper chain like we used to make back in school. You loop one by itself. It isn't very long, but you continue to connect those. You can get hundreds of loops together, and now you have one long chain. That essentially is what a polymer is. The main framework, or what chemists call the quote-unquote backbone of dimethicone, is made of alternating silicone and oxygen atoms. So each paper that we loop, one is going to be silicone and one is going to be an oxygen atom, and it's going to alternate to make that long paper chain. Attached to that backbone are tiny methyl groups. The way the molecule is built determines how it behaves. Because dimethicone has a flexible silicone oxygen backbone, it spreads easily across the skin instead of dragging. Those attached methyl groups also help give it a very low surface tension, which contributes to the silky, smooth feeling people notice when applying a product with it in it. So that luxurious texture isn't just good marketing. In great products, it's great chemistry. It's chemistry explaining the experience. And here's one of my favorite parts, that the same chemistry that helps dimethicone glide beautifully over the skin. In other words, the chemistry isn't just making the product feel elegant, it's helping the product perform its job. That's why cosmetic chemists continue to use it for decades on decades, not because it's trendy, but because it works. You know, it's been known to be tried and true. So if it works, why do some people don't like it? There's some people that stand and some people are like, no, with dimethicone. We spend a lot of time talking about it and what it does well, but as skincare professionals, we should also ask other questions. Remember, always be a detective, always be curious. If it's such a useful ingredient, why is it so controversial? And that's a fair question. If you spend 5 minutes on social media, you'll probably hear someone say never use silicones. Then you'll hear someone else say silicones are completely harmless. So who's right? The answer isn't usually found in either extreme, to be honest. Let's go and look at some of the biggest concerns concerns. Concern number one is that it feels like it's just sitting on my skin. That one is actually a matter of preference. Remember, we're talking about a dimethicone forming a thin and flexible film, and some people love that feeling. They describe it, like I said, as silky smooth and luxurious, and other people notice the film and say, I don't like the way this feels. Neither person is wrong. That is a preference. As estheticians, it's important to remember that how a product feels is just as important as how it performs. Because if your client doesn't enjoy using it, they're probably not going to keep using it. Let's pretend someone says, I used a moisturizer with dimethicone and it broke me out, girl. Does that automatically mean dimethicone caused the outbreak? No. I think about making a smoothie. If you don't like the taste, you can't automatically blame one ingredient. Sometimes it's the mixture of the ingredients, and sometimes it is just that one, but you have to break it down. Skincare works the same way. A finished product is made from dozens of ingredients working together, and current scientific evidence does not classify dimethicone itself as inherently communogenic. But every person's skin is different. We observe things, and sometimes something will work for somebody beautifully and it won't work for the next person. The next concern would be it's not biodegradable. Now, this is probably the most important criticism to understand. Unlike the first two concerns where it was preference and it wasn't really about what dimethicone does on the skin, it's about what happens after it goes down the drain. Dimethicone is generally not considered readily biodegradable, which means it doesn't break down quickly under many environmental conditions. That's why scientists continue studying the environmental impact of silicone materials. Now here's the nuance and why it matters. You may hear people lump all silicones together, but chemically, not all silicones are created the same. Dimethicone is what's known as a linear silicone. Some environmental discussions focus on silicones such as D4 and D5, and this is just so you know the difference, because they have different chemical structures. And when I was looking at my ingredients in the bathroom, I seen dimethicone in some of my products, but then I also seen it's in, like, I think I had like a Bath and Body Works product that somebody gave me, and I have it in my shower. I don't use their shower gel too often, but here and there I might. But it had either D4 or D5 on it, and I was like, what is that? And then I had to keep doing my study and researching and understanding that there's different silicones. So it's important to know which silicones we're talking about, because good science is specific, not general. And I think that's a really important habit for us to develop as estheticians. Instead of making blanket statements, we have to ask better questions. So how should we evaluate ingredients? Whenever I hear ingredients or ingredients that are all of a sudden get a lot of hype or a lot of hate, I ask myself 3 questions. Question number 1, where did this claim come from? Was it a cosmetic chemist, a dermatologist, a peer review research, marketing campaign, or a 30-second social media video? The source matters. Question number 2, what does the current science and evidence say? Not what do the comments say, not what do boo-boo over there say that is just giving an opinion. What's the science? The science is there. Where they say men lie, women lie, numbers don't. We don't want to have to worry about what social media is saying, what got the most likes, because science doesn't care about the algorithm. Science cares about the evidence. Question number 3, I would ask, what has my professional experience been? And when appropriate, what has my personal experience been? When I've used the product, when I've used it on a client, does what I observe in a treatment room align with the evidence, align with the opinions, align with the outrage, or align with the praise? Or does it raise new questions that make me want to keep learning? Notice something. My experience is my 3rd question, not my 1st. That's intentional because my experience is valuable, but it doesn't outweigh the fact that I need to pay attention to the science. And one person's experience doesn't automatically become everyone's reality. As estheticians, we have the privilege and the responsibility of combining research and clinical knowledge and real-world observations to make the best recommendations for our clients. And that's what an evidence-based practice looks like. And honestly, I think that's one of the most important lessons in today's episode, and that I keep reiterating in these episodes, is changing the way we think about things. It's about learning and how to evaluate any ingredient you come across, because trends will change, marketing will change, ingredients change. We got new ingredients and technology and skin coming out all the time. But if you know how to ask the good questions, you'll never stop learning and how to divide and conquer what is cap and what is fact. So let's wrap up today's episode. I hope that you guys got something. This was a hard one for me because it was so much for me to take in and try to learn. And I don't know if you guys, those of us that are over 30 club, learning at this age is a little bit different than when I was young in my 20s. And I can only imagine how it's going to continue to be as I continue to evolve and age like fine wine and be divine. But this one was a hard one for me to try to get, because it was like, okay, understand the links, the silicones, this big old word, and really want to understand the ingredient. And if you forget anything, know that dimethicone is an ingredient used that forms a thin layer to protect the skin. Some people like it, some people don't. But there's different levels too to silicones, etc. So let's get into the glow note. Now you already know, before we dismiss class, we have to go over today's glow notes. The 5 takeaways I want you walking away with. Glow note number 1, dimethicone isn't a moisturizer. It's a moisturizer helper. It's an ingredient. It doesn't add water to your skin. Instead, it helps your skin hold on to the moisture it already has by reducing excessive transepidermal water loss. Glow note number 2, healthy skin naturally loses water every day. That's called transepidermal water loss, or TOOL, and it's a normal part of skin's physiology. Our goal isn't to stop the tool. Our goal is to support a healthy skin barrier so that the skin doesn't lose too much water. Glow note number 3, the chemistry simply explains the experience. Remember, the way a molecule is built determines how it behaves. Glow note number 4, every ingredient has a job. Don't ask, is this ingredient good or bad? Ask, why was this ingredient chosen for this formula? Glow note number 5, think like an esthetician, not a headline, not a hook. Before believing the hype or the hate, ask yourself, where did this claim come from? What does the current scientific evidence say? Does my professional or personal experience align with that evidence? And that's evidence-based estheticians thinking. And you're not getting out here without your homework. As I gave it to you before, to go and look at some of your products and your care products in your bathroom and see if you see dimethicone in there. See if you can find 3 of them with dimethicone. You actually see how many you can find. What type of product is it? The full homework sheet and the coloring page for this will be in the group. And y'all got to catch that while it's live, because once this series ends, those freebies may be going away for us to create a little shop and shop. That's class for today, dolls. I hope today's lesson didn't just teach you about dimethicone. I hope it taught you how to become more curious, confident, in an evidence-based SD. I'll see you in the next lesson, where we'll continue working our way through the alphabet, one ingredient at a time. Enjoy your day. And as always, everybody get your hands on.
The more you glow, take it everywhere you go.